Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends Hydro Man, which is part of the Molten Man Build-A-Figure wave of Spider-Man Marvel Legends. And when I first talked about this guy, back when they very originally showed him off, I called him Water Guy, and everybody freaked out. Oh my god, his name is Hydro Man. Do you know what Hydro Man is? In other words, that mean the exact same thing. Just to be clear. Yeah, Water Guy. Water Guy works out just fine. We call him Mr. Moist. I mean, we call him anything you want. It all means the same thing. It was a joke about the fact that the naming conventions of most comic book characters are very kind of dull and uninspired. But hey, let's not harp on that. Let's talk about the figure. Is it any good? Well, some things about it are pretty good, and some things about it I'm pretty sure you guys have already noticed are not all that great. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. And this guy stands just about 6 3/4 inches, which makes him pretty close to, we'll say about 17 centimeters, right around there. Depends on how you have him posed. He was kind of leaning with his head sticking upward. Doesn't matter, you get the idea. How does he look aesthetically? Well, if you like transparent blue plastic, then you're going to be pretty pleased. He does have that for his arms, for sure. It's nice. They did a lot of texturing for the pants. If you like texturing, that's a good thing. For the shirt, it's very wrinkly. He's a wrinkly fella. So, I guess if you like a wrinkly shirt, that's pretty good. He wouldn't have a wet shirt, though, I would assume, because, well, you know, science isn't really part of the equation here. So maybe his shirt is perpetually wet, and that's why it's all wrinkly. I don't know. But it is wrinkly, so if you like that, that's good. If you like really short pants, i.e. flood pants, i.e. I made a joke about him being a wet guy and wearing flood pants, then that's a good thing for you. He does have nicely sculpted boots, though apparently weak ankles. And then we do also have his face, which is the stuff of nightmares. This is quite possibly, one of the worst ones they've done. Not counting the lip eyelid Wolverine or Logan figure, because that figure gets a whole separate category. But this guy's eyes might be the widest eyes we have ever seen on a Marvel Legends figure. Those are something else. His face is quite janky, but other than that, it's overall okay. The water is very ripply in his arms. I know some people have mentioned that, and I could definitely see that argument. You know, that's a lot of ripples in the water, so it looks more like maybe it was supposed to be a fire effect that was converted, or I don't know, but it's not terrible. I wouldn't worry about it too much. So, aesthetically speaking, this guy's okay. His shirt's kind of weird. His pants are okay. His arms are okay. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. His face is janky as heck. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about this figure that's highly unappealing, and not just his face. Like, I want to like it. I like the fact that he's got the arms, but then at the same time, it's like weird. He's kind of got a pot belly going on. Like, he's got very well-defined pectoral muscles, but then his stomach it looks like he's had a whole lot to drink. No pun intended. So, I don't know. There's something about this. I'm curious. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? Are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking? It's something somehow unappealing. Maybe it's the fact that his legs are so tubular and have a big crotch gap. There's something about this guy that's weird. I can't quite place it, but either way. Let's go ahead and talk about the accessories. We have 2 leg accessories which make him look like he's got watery feet. And so if you like that, well, it does make the figure look better overall, I think. It balances him out, obviously, with the water on the arms, and it hides the flood pants, and I think that's a much better look. So those are kind of cool, so that's nice. I still think, and this maybe is unreasonable, so I'm not going to weight it too heavily, but having only these 2 water arms as opposed to like a neutral arm on one side or a water arm where it's like he's got it splashing up against the person he's hitting, so it's kind of like a flat spot at the end. You know, that would have been kind of nice. Just an interchangeable hand part to where it's like spread out rather than just a fist. Something like that would have been a nice addition, but it's not absolutely necessary. So this guy, I'll give him a 6 out of 10 for accessories. We do have 2, and that's okay. It's not like it's a terrible thing, but it's not a great thing. Alright, time for the articulation. Is it any good? Well, the neck is pretty much what you would expect. We have our hinge and our ball peg, and that's okay. We only get a little tiny bit of lollipopping, so that is alright, though his neck is quite thick. That kind of erases the need for the lollipop, so that's good. Pretty good range. Does it lean side to side a little bit? Up and down's all fine. Rotation's fine. That's good. Shoulders, Better than horizontal, that's pretty awesome. We almost never get that, so that's really cool. Rotation's fine other than the shirt being at an angle, so the arms do rotate at a bit of an angle. There is no bicep swivel up here. We do only get a swivel here where the arm connects at the watery elbow. However, the single jointed elbow hinge is all but useless. So that's straight, and that is bent. As far as I can flex it, that's like 10, maybe 15 degrees of range. That is terrible indeed. For the wrist, we do have a wrist swivel and a hinge, though you're not going to be able to do much with the hinge but bend it in. Okay, so on this side, this arm seems to have a little bit better range if you really force it, but we're still talking maybe 20 degrees. Maybe more, maybe a little bit like 30, but that's still pretty terrible. And then this wrist is the same situation. So it's also kind of floppy. So if you wanted to have him holding up another character with this big hand, if that's something you think might be a good idea, his shoulder's nice and sturdy, but his wrist is pretty floppy, so be careful with that. For the ab crunch, he is floppy. He's a flaccid guy. There's like, you can feel ratcheting in there technically, but not so much. And the arms are heavy enough that they weigh him down. So yeah, that's no bueno. That's no good. Thigh swivel. That's a thigh swivel. Thigh swivel's okay right there. And then the thigh swivel down here, we'll get to in a second. They do go all the way forward. They do go surprisingly far out to the side. And then we have a waist swivel, which works just fine. Double jointed knee is fine. Flood pant ankles don't go back any farther than they can go because the pants are blocking the shoes. If you take the shoe and put it over the pants, you can go all the way back. If you really wanted to do that, you can do that. Bring the foot forward. Well, we have almost no range there. And can we get it to flex and stretch and whatnot? Just a little bit, but it works, I guess, technically. Ankle rocker is at a terrible angle, and the ankles are still really floppy. A lot of this guy is very floppy. That is not good. So, articulation on this guy. Well, the shoulders are kind of nice. The elbows are trash. The wrists are okay. Legs, torso, ankles, those are all floppy. 6 out of 10 for the articulation. That's not good. Terrible elbow joints. Weak ankles, those are huge problems. Floppy torso, huge problem. Nice hips. Nice hips. So yeah, not great. So ultimately, the final verdict on this guy is a nice attempt. I like it in concept. I think Hasbro had the right idea here, but they didn't really see it through. They kind of just probably, if I had to guess, they said, we gave him transparent blue arms. It'll sell. It'll sell. Don't do anything else to it. It's good enough. And I think that's what happened here. So I'm not convinced that it's necessarily a great buy, though I do see the appeal to collectors, and I imagine most people are going to buy it because transparent blue water arms. I mean, that's a valid argument. So I will say it's probably only really a 6 out of 10, but having this guy added to the collection with at least something that makes him look kind of cool, I could see people making an argument for 7. But a goofy face and bad articulation, I'm not sure it's actually all that worth it. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This one is kind of a unique release in that it's almost awesome and then not very good at all at the same time. So let's talk about it in the comment section below. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you did not enjoy this video, well, you can give it a big old wet thumbs down. That is alright too. And if you have not subscribed yet, you might want to do it because I have thousands of videos already on the channel waiting to save you money. And new ones coming out just about every single day. So come back for all of that good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.